and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Monday, and a plot twist is we're got a little San Diego Comic-Con 2026 hangover edition of the toy news here, and yellow and black San Diego. I guess the next day you wear green, and that's what we're doing here, but there's so much news over this weekend. We got to cover it all here on the channel, and this is the stuff we missed. This is new news and all points in between, and we're going to cover that right here. But before we get too deep into it, got to, of course, plug jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15%. Got to thank them for sponsoring, of course, the toy news each and every week. And don't forget to check out Patreon, YouTube channel memberships for, of course, early access and your best way to support this very YouTube channel. And I should say, go back to yesterday's video, weekly purchases. If you missed it, check out weekly purchases. We are doing a giveaway. You got to put a question in the comments of the YouTube video. We're celebrating 60,000 subscribers of this YouTube channel, and we will give away to want to use this Pinnacle Jeff Jarrett figure. So hover over to weekly purchases, put your comment and question down in the comments. There you go. Easier said than done. And that's for 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. The slow crawl to 100,000 begins. But apparently we got some late breaking news here today. I got my nice assistant here. Hi, assistant. Thank you for handing me this. You can go on your merry way. Thanks for coming, but apparently we got some breaking news here, just flashed on this piece of paper. Oh my gosh, is this true? It is true. Okay, we're rolling with it. If there's anything wrong here, it's my assistant's fault. But apparently, in a late breaking news here from San Diego Comic-Con on Sunday. Now, I'm filming this on Sunday, dropping it on Monday. These aren't live. A lot of people think these videos are live, and they talk to me like it's live. It's not live. It's taped, and you get it early if you're a Patreon member. You can even be a free Patreon member. But Todd McFarland, you haven't heard this news either? He's wiggling his toes in excitement. So without further ado, let's read it. Apparently, late breaking news on Sunday from, of course, Hasbro and the Marvel Legends. It looks like we're getting the Doom Wave here, the Avenger Doomsday Wave, first announced by People magazine. You know it's a big deal when People's getting into the action figures. They need to leave it to professionals like us, Todd McFarland. But apparently we are getting Dr. Doom. Makes a lot of sense to get Dr. Doom. We're getting Magneto. It's not Magneto, it's Magneto, trust me. We got Gambit. Channing Tatum, is that guy's name on there? How about that? It's Magic Mike edition of Gambit. We got him coming. We got Cyclops, another X-Men favorite. Slim, as he's known in some circles, Todd McFarland. Shang-Chi, a bit of a wild card. Apparently he's going all out in this movie. I don't know. We'll see how that ends up going. Sam Wilson's Captain America and Thor joining the wave as well. But that's not it. We got a little bit more action there. Apparently a Sue Storm, Johnny Storm 2-pack. Oh my gosh, a storm's a brewing, no doubt about it. We got Thing and we got Reed Richards. So it makes sense that they announced this here at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was totally off my radar, maybe your radar as well. This movie's coming out at the end of the year, so it makes sense we're going to have these figures for the fall as we ramp up to the movie. Kind of out of sight, out of mind, at least for me personally. Forgot all about it, but I do got my Dr. Doom Western shirt on here today. But some late breaking news. I appreciate that from my assistant. If that is true, see you later. Goodbye. All right, let's continue on with the other toy news, but a late breaking update right there. How about we head over to WWE news right here? Mattel, Walmart exclusive 3-pack, John Cena, Batista, Dave Batista as I call him, and then of course Hulk Hogan 3-pack up for pre-order over there at Walmart. Shipping in August apparently, so if you need that, be on the lookout for that one there. And speaking of big stores, how about Target? 20% off WWE this week. A very busy week over there. Get some return action in, rebuy your stuff, get some savings, do all that kind of fun stuff if you need to. But a little bit more WWE news is WWE really did win. I should say WWE Mattel really did win the weekend personally. They had the most reveals, the most excitement, the most everything. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, more on the channel over the next couple of weeks, months, years, who knows. But that's it for WWE news. No more AEW news, but KWK had their big reveal. Every year they do a lot of reveals and kind of set the path forward at San Diego Comic-Con. They were on the Fully Posable podcast live stream, and we did get a few things. And I think the biggest news to come out of this is LJN Styles from KWK, a brand new line. It's an interesting one. Sean himself said, this isn't to compete with Mattel. This isn't to compete with the big rubber guys. It's just an extra avenue for his talent to get more money. Follow the money, green money. I understand it. But at the end of the day, guess what? You're not competing. You are competing because you're in the same headspace. You're an action figure. You're in the same form style. There is going to be competition. Whether you want there to be competition or not, there will be competition. There's only so many dollars around. Somebody will say, well, I'd really like to get the Orient Express, but instead I got to get this, or back and forth, whatever. So you might not want the competition, but the competition is going to be there one way or the other. And I'm very excited to see how these work out. And there's some heavy hitters that are going to work really good in this. Now, one that immediately got me excited. I was raising a flagpole is what I was doing. Dory Funk Jr., LJN style. Man, hopefully it kind of matches that Terry Funk. That would be amazing from back in the day. Playing a lot of hits right there. Or Orient Express, that's going to pair perfect with that LJN era as well, so that's really fun. Same thing with Los Conquistadors. As long as they pair up and look like they belong in that same set, those should be very strong sellers. A little bit of a wild card there. Ken Patera coming into this line. We've already had a Ken Patera, but Sean over there at KWK thinks he can improve and make that one better, more of like what it should have been. So we'll see where that ends up going. And then Max Moon. We're playing all the hits with Max Moon. A little bit after the LJN era, but I think would be a very cool looking LJN style figure. So kudos to Sean. We only got pictures. We didn't get renders. We didn't get any of that kind of stuff. Going to be interested to see where that goes. How fast will these turn and burn? How fast will they come out? I guess more to find out in the future here. But we got some more future of their retro line from KWK. The one that brought them to the dance, you could say easily there. We got the Pitbulls 2-pack there, of course. ECW stalwarts back in the day of the tag team division. The Pitbulls looking very good. Conan is going to be their shining star in 2027. Multiple versions of Conan. And it looks like if you're a Conan fan, we're going to get a lot of figures of Conan between Mattel, KWK, and who knows who else in 2027. We do got the minis being involved, which is interesting. Dink and Tiger Jackson. Yep, Tiger Jackson. He used to live in your closet. Oh my gosh, I guess that was spacious for him, I'm sure. But we got Tiger Jackson and Dink around the corner. We got a question. Would you rather see Vince Russo or Vic Venom? I don't even think that's really a question from where I sit. Of course, right here. I think Vince Russo is what you have to do in this point. Very few people probably remember Vic Venom. It's a moment in time, a sliver in time. He's been Vince Russo a heck of a lot longer. I feel like Vince Russo makes more sense. Maybe a repaint down the road. See how well Vince Russo sells. Maybe a repaint for Vic Venom, but I feel like you gotta go Vince Russo first. I think it would be a mistake not to do that personally. And then we saw Luna Vachon, so getting in the female dance over there once again, as KWK has made a few female figures, and Luna will be another one. And then we're going heavy on the O-rings. I know KWK is heavy on the O-rings. They're really wanting to be the dominant force in O-rings. Obviously wrestling figure collectors, but hoping to capture some of the G.I. Joe and O-ring collectors from other properties. We'll see how that goes. And we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, Miami Vice, Michael Knight, Knight Rider, Magnum P.I. 3 3/4. So there is a market out there. It might not be as big as it was in the 80s, but there's still a market for collectors. We'll see how that ends up going. But he did announce Bruiser Brody, Yoshitatsu, Hayabusa, Max Moon, Paul Diamond, and Conan edition, Gangrel, Luna Vachon, Orient Express, and the Berserker in O-ring style over the next year plus at this point. Makes sense. A lot of the talent he's signed for retros is using here, and that makes sense. We always say, put your business hat. Get the most out of your molds. Get the most out of your talent and your talent signings. If you can sign the Berserker and make multiple form factors of him, why wouldn't you at this point? You've already paid for the signing. Get what you can out of the license and out of the agreement there. Makes all the sense in the world to me. Maybe it does you. Todd definitely does the Todd. He's wiggling his toes like crazy. So I know I'm speaking the truth when those get flapping like that. But looking good. So quite the performance for KWK. We got his roadmap going forward. Very interested to see the LJN style figures, especially the Dory Funk Jr. Have to imagine we'll see variants, repaints. That's kind of the name of the game with KWK. So it'd be interesting to see the different versions of Dory and the Orient Express if it does come down to that. So more to come on the channel when we get it. But the hits keep on coming over to Latuni. Latuni going hard and heavy as well. Wrestling Toon Stars Ric Flair ×3. Yes, times 3. I'm definitely interested in one. I would love to get all 3, but there's so many figures coming out. These are expensive. It's hard. You got a budget. And do I really need 3 versions of this Ric Flair with just little tweaks? As cool as it is, I don't know if I could do it, but I do like the looks of the Ric Flair. So we'll see how that ends up going. We saw Latuni Giant Series. These should be coming very soon in the next month or so. We got Giant Machine, silver and gold headed edition, a repaint of course, Andre. Would love to see more machines. I believe we are getting more machines. Would be really cool to get a Piper machine, Hogan machine, and of course, Axe machine, whatever his name was, Giant Machine, Littler machine. I forget. It's escaping me right now. But it'd be kind of cool to display all those machines together in LJN style. We'll see what happens in the future there. But Latuni coming in with a lot of things right there along the way. And Latuni not messing around as well, as even before this, they did announce the Diamond Stud and Coco Beware. Interesting looks to both of them. Constant learning, constant improvement. They're already making changes over there at Latuni, but that was some late breaking news as well. So if you're after a Diamond Stud in LJN form factor or another Coco Beware, you got your chance. I would say if I'm Latuni, fast track that Coco because it's always a thing. They could put that out, of course, the LJN style from Mattel. I have to imagine the way Latuni works and Mattel works, we'll see this Coco from Latuni. But if I'm over there at Latuni, I'd try to speed that Coco up as fast as I can. Any talent that could possibly get an LJN Mattel, you want to try to beat to the punch. Because if you don't, they're going to be cheaper from Mattel and they're going to be easier to get and it will hurt your sales in the future. So I'm sure Latuni's thinking of that as well, but I would rush that Coco because you never know. The minute that gets announced from Mattel, that's going to hurt your sales. So we'll see where that goes in the future as well. But Latuni not messing around like a lot of these other companies. Another company not messing around, Grapplers and Gimmicks. We got Tio Savio Vega back for a return engagement. We saw images of him, we saw images of the Goon, and Rick Martel. So 3 guys getting another return pass on Grapplers and Gimmicks. Once again, got to get the most out of your properties, and that's what we're doing at Grapplers and Gimmicks. A bit of a surprise this week, J&J Figs, Nikita Koloff TRT exclusive Title Run toys. I think that's the 3rd Nikita we're getting from Title Run toys, and we got a lot of Nikitas coming in the future from Big Rubber guys. We got Matt Maniacs, and even more, I believe, on top of that. So Nikita Koloff, very overdue for more action figures, and we're going to finally get them more in 2026 and into 2027. So we get that one from J&J Figures. I think it was at the Gathering or something like that, or WrestleCon, whatever they were at this weekend. An interesting one here. I'm not a Micro Brawlers guy. I dabble. I got a Terry Funk one and a Bret Hart one, I think, in my collection. But we did see Micro Brawlers Cactus Jack and Dude Love coming. Now, Cactus seems like a slam dunk. I'm sure that was going to happen. But Dude Love is the wild card here because there's been a lot of people saying, well, can they make Dude Love? Does WWE own it? It was technically before WWE, but do they own the rights? They made it famous, obviously. Well, by the points of this, it looks like Dude Love is on the table. So fully expecting a Collect Major Big Rubber guy, probably a Zombie Sailor in the future as well. I'm sure we're going to get retro Dude Love figures to go with all these Cactus Jack figures. If this is the way it's going to go, I'm sure everybody else is going to follow suit there. So that should be good news for those looking finally for a retro Dude Love or some of the other, maybe a Pinnacle Dude Love. We'll see what happens there in the future as well. But Mick Foley coming to the Micro Brawlers as one would expect to. But that's it for wrestling here. We did get a few other things here, a few other things to mention. A whole other page of notes, honestly. But I did see a little bit of Big Bad Toy Store, Big Bad Workshop. Very hard to follow that stuff. There's so many different lines. It gets a little confusing because they're all similar style. I appreciate things like this. Can't be a completionist on this, but I do dabble in some of this. And a few things that caught my eye was a Monster Force version of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm a Creature guy, so I'll have to pick that one up. I thought that looked really good. And then Big Bad Toy Store Tik figures going there. Those keep on going. I need to ship it. I've had it in my pile of loot forever. I need to ship my Tik figures. I would love to collect the Tik line. A lot of memories as a kid with my dad as he did collect the Tik figures. And then he even got those mini like PVS ones. He collected those as well. He still has those proudly on display at his house. So it'd be kind of fun to get some of these Tik figures. Maybe get my dad one of them as well for old time's sake. We'll see what ends up happening there. But Tik coming strong. We got Arthur. We got a lot of the villains coming as well. So it looks like they're full steam ahead on that. We talked about the other day with the Cops line. I'm here for that. So Big Bad Workshop getting after it in a lot of ways. So kudos to them as well. But kudos to a good friend, as Jerry Reed always says. And the hits keep on coming after San Diego Comic-Con weekend. A little bit more NECA news here. Missed out on Powdered Toast Man, a deep cut. If you know, you know. I was a Ren and Stimpy kid. I loved me some Ren and Stimpy. He was the famed superhero in there, so they're getting that. Are they getting Ren and Stimpy figures, though? I would assume yes, but we know what happens when you assume. But we got NECA Powdered Toast Man coming. That should be an interesting one. And we're back to the streets of Sesame Street. Right now, if you're a Patreon YouTube channel member, you can watch my review of Big Bird. So many figures the last couple of weeks. It's going to take months to get through them all. It pays to be a Patreon member. You get all the videos much, much earlier over there. But we did see Oscar the Grouch coming to the Sesame Street line. A heavy hitter, I would say. Can also be a 2-in-1 figure. As you have a Fig Fed, you have a Marvel Street Scene display, a McFarland Street Scene display. You can use it as a garbage can too. So a 2-in-1 figure there for Oscar the Grouch coming next from Sesame Street. Jada Toys not messing around. And I totally spaced it. I totally forgot about that Heads pack. I wanted that Heads pack. I wanted Panther Flocked Edition. I wanted those real Ghostbusters, but I decided to bail on that. And then, of course, Jim Bro Skeletor. I missed out on that. So I didn't bat very well for San Diego Comic-Con. I was just too busy in meetings and spaced off on things. You'd be ready. I'd say, okay, 10-minute warning. Then I'd have a call come in. It gets my blood pressure all working overtime. And then 5 minutes after it went on sale, I'm like, oh my gosh, Jim Bro Skeletor, these Heads pack. And I missed out on them. I missed out. Have to imagine, though, Jim Bro Skeletor I'll track down pretty easily. We'll see what happens with Panther if he comes back in stock. If they have any remaining after the show, we'll see where that goes. And then I guess we'll see with these Jada toys. Wouldn't be shocked to be able to get those a second chance in them because I think that is a cool idea. But Jada did announce some exclusives to Walmart, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Player 2 versions of the final Challengers Street Fighter figures. We got Vega, Cammy, Zangief, a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, and then Balrog and Dhalsim. So if you're after the other versions, to me, just like Mortal Kombat, Todd, I'm not really getting these multiple versions of these unless I find a super clearance deal or it's somebody like a Blanca or a Zangief in this case that I really do like that I might get another version of. So we'll see where it goes, but we do got some options there if you're into the Jada Toy Street Fighter figures. I know a lot of people hoping Jada Toys were going to announce AEW license or something like that. We know that's not going to be the case. They're just not going to do that. We don't know where that AEW license is going. More to come. As I've said the last few weeks, I hate to be cryptic about it, but I was told by a very high source, and if it got out, they would know where it came from. And if somebody tells me not to say something, I'm not going to say something. So that's just the way it's going to be. We'll see what happens in the future. You just never do know. But we do know DC, as I've been saying for a heck of a long time. There's a lot of people shocked this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con with the Ninja Turtle announcement, NECA no longer making them. I've been saying that since March. It's over. It's over. It's not going to happen with the master license to Mattel. It's just the way it is. We didn't see anything for Turtles. I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit into, of course, the year before we see Turtles, but we're going to finish up with all the other licenses of Turtle stuff. DC was the other one. I said going into San Diego Comic-Con, we're not going to see any of the DC premium stuff. We're going to see the kids stuff, but not the collector stuff. We did see the kids stuff, more Batman, more of the hits being played, the stuff you would make sense there. As I've said, I want to buy that stuff, but you got to roll it back. You got to have a little bit of patience, and that's what I'm doing. I'm dabbling in a couple. I wanted to see the first wave, just see what all the fuss was about. I'm dabbling, and it's a very light dabble because we're going to get them all in elite ultimate forms to use wrestling examples. Got to pump the brakes a little bit. But once again, as I've said repeatedly for probably the last 6 months, Todd McFarland, if not longer, we're not seeing anything until January 1st. Mattel Creations, January 1st, they're going to go all on out. Wouldn't be shocked to see January 1st, we'll have them in the stores as well. Now, we know how it goes. December 15th, somebody will post leaked images online. There'll be all kinds of stuff like that. The minute they're produced and on a boat or whatever, there's going to be leaked images. That's just the way it goes. But they're not going to be officially for sale till January 1st. We got to be patient. They said New York Toy Fair, maybe we'll see some stuff, or New York Comic-Con, we'll see some stuff in the fall. My guess is it'll be like a teaser image of a silhouette of Batman or something like that. They're not going to roll it all out for us there. It's just the legalities of it all. You got to always take that business step back. Nobody likes to be sued, let me tell you. And I get threatened to be sued all the time at my day job. It's fun sometimes, but sometimes it's not if they actually do, but they never do. They never do. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. That's what Power Town's thinking right now. Steve Rosenthal, he's out on an island with all of his David the Gnome figures he's funding because he knows nobody's going to sue him. There's nothing that's going to happen to him because as much as I want my $800 back, I'm not going to go pay a lawyer and have that money eaten up, and then Steve to not say, oh, I don't have the money, it's gone. And then what? You do nothing, you win a lawsuit, you don't get anything out of it, you just wasted a bunch of time, and time is money, folks. And if it was $8,000, okay, maybe I'd do something. I'm not, and I'm sure I'm one of the extreme ones. Most people have maybe $100, $200, $50, whatever tied up. Don't get me on these Power Town rants here. It is what it is. But we keep on going on. We're going to go over to Mondo. 1/6 scale, the big deluxe figures, Batman and Robin. Playing all those Batman Robin hits here, if that is for you. This one is not for me. One that I wish was for me would be Jean Grey and Deadpool. I really want to complete that line. Unfortunately, you can only get so much stuff. There's only so much room. There's only so much finances to go around. And the Mondo stuff I had to dial back because they're so expensive. You guys understand it, I'm sure. But I'm admiring from afar. Would love to have Jean Grey. Would love to have Deadpool. Would love the Spider-Man and the Lizard. Just not going to happen. Have to admire from afar, I guess, is what we got going on. One I might pick up there over at our friends at Jay's Toys and Games, though, when it comes in, is Tully coming there to the Ghostbusters line. I am enjoying those figures. I really wanted to get the Ghost Head versions. I didn't, at least as of now. But we got Tully coming to the line, which should be fun to build out that team a little bit more. I'm still passing on the Ecto 1. I know people are saying I'm crazy, but it's going to be expensive. It's going to take up a lot of real estate. I just want the figures. So is what it is. Maybe I'll draw a picture of the Ecto 1 and put it behind him. I don't know. Who knows? We got Mondo Turtles, though. These were amazing. The Mondo team was talking about they're continuing the universe over there, which I think is a lot of fun idea. Change some things, move some things around, but we saw all 4 turtles. We saw their frog friends. Just look absolutely fabulous. I would love to have these 4 turtles, but once again, probably going to have to admire from afar, but man, do they look good. Would love to check those ones out. Maybe one day. We'll see what happens. We do know Shredder and Bebop and Rocksteady are both coming to that line in the future. So some heavy hitters in more ways than one. And it does seem to me that Mondo is kind of escaping some of these legalities with Mattel and all that. Is apparently they're going to continue on with these figures. I think they're just such a small niche company. I don't know if that's the word, but when you're only making like 250, 500, 1,000 of a figure, you're kind of off the radar a little bit. So they're like, yeah, you can continue to do that. So I think that's what's going on. Same thing with the DC Batman stuff. I guess it is what it is, but we'll see where it goes in the future. We also saw more announcements from Mondo as far as Masters of the Universe. We got a 1/12 edition of Trapjaw, playing a lot of hits for me. I'm a Trapjaw guy. Got to pick that one up. Then 1/6 scale edition Stratos, Sorceress, and Skeletor 2.0 are coming to the party here. I'm sticking with all the He-Man stuff. The only thing I've missed over the last like 5-6 years is Swiftwind and She-Ra. Is what it is. Once again, very expensive figure. And I already had She-Ra, and I'm like, where am I going to put this Swiftwind? I'm not a Swiftwind guy, so you got that going on. And then we closed out with Todd from the couch. I did miss this one. There was a Platinum Edition Kilowog, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Probably a figure I'll never see in my collection, but cool enough for what it is. And then we did see at the, I guess, image panel, after the McFarland panel, they had an image panel, and we did see Witchblade and Prophet coming to the Elite line. Once again, losing DC. Todd's looking for some of these other properties from Image. I think it's a smart idea. I think there is some nostalgia there. It's just the price point that hurts a lot of people's feelings. Yes, it hurts feelings. Todd McFarland is what it does. But we got 2 of those ones coming. I can't wait for Spartan, though. I'm all in on the Spartan. And I'm all out on the news. That's all I got. That's a quick update from San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sure more stuff will trickle in. But guess what? I'm out of town this week. I'm traveling. I got some business meetings. I got presentations to do. So we'll have to circle back next weekend at the Toy News every single Saturday on the channel for 5+ years, something like that. Never missed a week. And I put up about 10 Toy News videos the last couple of days. So check out all of that. Hopefully you enjoyed the San Diego Comic-Con coverage. A lot of stuff going on around here and a lot of stuff going on in action figures. And hopefully you had a good San Diego Comic-Con, whether you went there or you followed along at home. Be very interested to hear what you're happy for, what you're excited for, what you're hoping to pick up from San Diego Comic-Con in all these news videos. Let me know in the comments down below. Check out Patreon, check out YouTube channel memberships to support the channel. You can even be a free member if you want to of the Patreon. Check it out. And don't forget to go into yesterday's weekly purchases. Put a question down there, and you could be in the running for this Jeff Jarrett Pinnacle figure. I'm going to give it away, and I'll even pay for the shipping, too. I know. I'm a sweetheart. You're exactly right, Todd McFarland. But check that out, of course, if you missed it. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available where podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for another edition of the Toy News, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another work week.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
Without me here, this place is screwed.